So as you will be able to see from this rotating video right here is that the car is almost completely finished. There are like a couple of interior things that I still need to do, and the radiators need to be placed in the doors, but that is basically it. And then the car will be done, and I'll be on to the next project. But in the meantime, in between time, I'm also just pretty proud of myself and looking back on the complete period that I kind of went through designing the car, and I kind of wanted to reflect on that period, and not really reflect on it and tell you guys all the things I went through. That's not the point, but I just wanted to make a video explaining how a 19-year-old kid like me ended up being able to design a complete car. And it's pretty evident that I was the one designing it, because you know, I've made a couple of videos about it. I also been getting a lot of questions about how a person like me, I'm just a 19-year-old kid that just loves designing things in general. I also do like houses and things, but there's most of the time it's like not worth recording it, because not because I'm not good at it or anything, but it's like I'm not doing complete projects. I do like rooms at a time and all of that. So, but my real passion is with designing cars and just cars in general and everything. So I just wanted to take like a little bit to explain you guys how I came to this point. So first of all, I got kind of obsessed with this car bug, or this affection, or however you want to call it, when I was pretty young, because my grandfather had like a how do you call it, a garage, a shop at his house. So every time when I went over there for the weekends and everything, my grandfather just basically dragged me into the shop, and we were like working on cars. And at like 8 years old, I think I probably replaced the brake disc from my mom's old Nissan and all of those things. So that was kind of my first introduction to it. And then when I started to get like 8 years old and the PlayStation 3 came out, there was a game called Need for Speed Pro Street, and that was like my favorite car game when I was younger. And they also had a thing with upgrading body kits and everything, that you could also see the aerodynamics and just how different louvers would affect the airflow around the car and everything with upgrading it. So that really caught my attention. Like, this is something that I would really like to do. So then when I was around that age, 8-10 years old, I started to also draw cars a little bit by hand. And then I think my dad kind of saw that I was interested in doing this, and then he gave me SketchUp. Google SketchUp was this first, it's not really a CAD, but like the first 3D drawing program that I got used to. And then later on, I think in like 2010, something like that, when I was 13-14 years old, I kind of got introduced to SolidWorks. And yeah, that was my first step into also having the possibility of making mechanical things. And when I got the possibility to really also design engines, because in SketchUp you can't really design these moving components and everything, at least I didn't know how to at that time. So when I was introduced to SolidWorks and I finally had the possibility to make a working engine with all of the parts and components, I just started looking at hours and hours of YouTube videos on how these things work. And when I had a good understanding of how these mechanical components work, I started to make them myself. So then I started to have really old versions of just car engines, and I'm gonna just scroll through my laptop. I got like I don't know, like 3,800 pictures on my laptop of just designs that I've made over the years, and not just designs that I made, but just cars in general. But there are a couple of pictures in there also of my earlier designs, so I will just scroll through it and look if I can find a couple of those too. So yeah, that was the first step of the mechanical engineering thing and everything. So then yeah, I just kept on doing that, and then from an engine, after I made the engine, I also needed a gearbox, so I figured out how to make a gearbox. And after that, also needed to know how a car stops and all of those things. And then I got even more interested in mechanical engineering, and I also designed like a semi-automatic 100 cal gun, like and it would basically work. And but I never really showed it to anyone, because you know, I don't know, I don't really want to put out the image of me being a gun designer or a weapon designer or anything. But just because I had this love for mechanical engineering, I kind of wanted to know how all of those different type of things work. So that is basically how I got my start in with SolidWorks and everything. So now I'm at the point that I'm 19 years old, and or you know what? Let's backtrack a couple of seconds. So then in let's say 2012, I believe. Yeah, it was 2012. So when new regulations for the F1 season came out, that the car turned into the V6 hybrids and everything, I kind of then my spark for Formula One, I just really got interested into it because the technology just grabbed a hold of me with the whole the Earth system, the heat energy recovery system and everything, how they did it with the turbos and the energy recovery and everything. So I was really interested in how that works. And that is kind of a reverse actually, because usually people become fan of the F1s in the V10 and the V8 era when they made the loud noises and everything. And for me it was the technology that actually basically drew me to the sport and everything. So that is also one thing that I wanted to do. So just give me a second and I will see you back into SolidWorks. Also at the same time, I just love the cars and how they look like spaceships and how they're very advanced. And so I also decided to you know, make one of my own. So that is also a project that is upcoming, but that won't really be a main priority because I also decided to make the Alfa Romeo, of course. So but that is also something that I will be working on and everything. So let's see if I can also show you how the aerodynamics of and everything will work of this thing. Also another thing that you can expect to come from the channel, I basically switched a little bit the way I worked. I usually, my room is a little bit of a mess right now, so I'm not really going to show everything, but I usually used to work on these two monitors that you can see, this one right here and also this one right here. But now my laptop is working again, and that laptop is basically a stronger computer than my regular desktop is. So yeah, I'm gonna just use the laptop way more now. And also I got that thing lurking in the back right there. That is a 3D printer, and very soon I'm gonna fix it. It's not really broken, but I need a couple of replacement parts that keep me from doing that. And when that is fixed, I'm also really redo the website and just be more active on the website as well, to start also some sort of a blog to kind of maintain the progress and also have some sort of a portfolio for all of the things that I've designed. And once that will be done live and everything, I will really just put way more of an effort also into that. But that will also be harder to do because now I also got a job. I work at a Nike factory store, so that is, for me, it's a very cool job and I also really like it. But it does also take a lot of time, and I also don't really always have a lot of energy to do a lot of things. So that's also something that is added to everything right now. So that is what you can expect. So I will design the Formula One car and make my own version, and also try to see if I can maybe come up with solutions to problems that Formula One is facing right now. And there are a lot of people that are way smarter than me that are also trying to do this, but why not give it a shot? It's also very cool for me to do. And also at the same time, that Alfa Romeo is really exciting for me, and that is really one that I really like to do. So that is just also again a part of the update. So now let me get back to this Formula One wing, and let's see what the results are for the aerodynamics and how that looks, and just to give you first teaser of what this Formula One series on the YouTube channel might look like. So yeah, that is everything that is coming up, and let's just get into it. So not only am I trying to I just want to see what the results are for this rear wing, and I'll also just duplicate other cars, and just every time I see like an update, I'm gonna just try to rebuild it and just see if I can come up with a solution, and just learn a lot from what the teams are doing with these aero kits, and see if I can also take that aerodynamic yeah, research, I can maybe even call it, and deploy it also even some of the road cars that I'm designing. So that is just what I'm trying to do right now. Yeah, now in the meantime, you can see that it's putting down something like 100 and something like 200 kilograms of kilos, yeah, 200 kilograms of downforce, and you can also see what it looks like and flow trajectories and all of that. So yeah, we can just see the airflow moving all over these components and all of that. So let's just see what happens if we select a couple of these, and yeah. So you can immediately see two vortexes being created, vortices, however you call it, one on the inside of the wing and one on the outside of the wing. And this one looks way heavier, but if I would put more emphasis on the inside of the wing, it is also yeah, a pretty extreme vortex if you ask me. But yeah, that is what is happening. And there's a low blue zone right here, so that's a low air pressure zone, and you can see it being darker, so more towards the red instead of the blue on the top, so that it's a high air pressure zone. And that is basically how these front wings work. And at the same time, there's also a wheel here, so you're basically trying to get the air to move over the wheel and also to the side of the wheel, so the wheel is not really creating a lot of so the wheel is not really facing a lot of high energy air like this is. So it's now it's yeah, there's just less air coming in contact with the wheel and everything. So I will just go to the process of making this wing, and I'm also just really look at the rule book for the F1 cars and everything, and see if I can just really also make something that would be legal during the F1 race. And just this shape, I'm not going to do a complete car or anything. I'm gonna just design yeah, like I said, just make the shape for the car and everything, not really do anything else. So to sum up everything that you can expect and that I've been talking about in this video, first of all, I'm gonna just finish this car off, and for me to finish the car will take 1 week. So I'm gonna do the interior of the car, and then I'll be done, and I have to fit the radiators. Second thing is that I will start with the Alfa Romeo, and the third thing is whenever I feel like it, I will add a component to the front wing assembly, and not assembly, just the model. I will just keep it in one model, and every time I just watch a Formula 1 race and I see some kind of update happening with the car, then I will try to duplicate that and just make multiple versions of this F1 car, and just see if I can find some cool solutions to aero problems, and also use those in other projects that I'm doing. So that is the second thing for the YouTube channel. The third thing is that I'm switched to my laptop, and my laptop is a little bit more of a powerful computer, so I'm gonna see how that works with the editing and everything. So let's see if I can maybe save some time with that. And the last and final thing is that very soon, I think to the end of this month, somewhere at the end of September, I will really fix that 3D printer. And once that thing is fixed, I can I will also really redo the website and really make a blog and really keep track of everything that I'm doing design wise, and just make articles, or just really write articles about all the things that I'm developing, and just try to generate some just try to generate a following with that, and just see how that works. And then I'll also have a web shop on that website, and there you will be able to buy like things that I printed. So I will also do like skill models for the cars and everything, and those will probably be very limited because it will take a lot of time to make one of them. So they will also won't be very cheap because I can't really make a lot of them at the same time. So to make it worth doing it, I kind of have to put a price tag on it. But so I'm also not trying to sell a lot of them, but I'll also try to make t-shirts, and I will try to do a lot of things and everything. But at the same time, I also have a regular job right now. So that also takes up a couple of hours a day. So it also makes it harder sometimes to create content and to work on these cars and all of those things. So that is also something that maybe slows down the process a little bit, but at least you know what you can expect and what is coming up from me and the YouTube channels and everything. So that is everything that I wanted to say. So this has been a channel update. Thanks for watching. Also, please leave a like or subscribe to this YouTube channel. I'm Veldboom from SVA Design, and I will see you guys in another video very soon.